Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna learn about user accesses. So every pharma company they will be having multiple applications of Veeva Vault. So for providing access to the end users, they don't have to create again and again for an user in each and every application. So this is called a domain user. So people will be created in the domain user account, and then the same account access will be granted to the multiple application without any hindrances. Other than that, we have a single sign-on and non-single sign-on accesses. So if a person who is having the mail ID of that pharma company, they can get the single sign-on access, so that they don't have to log into the application every time. So once they hit on the URL using their username and credential, they have logged into the laptop, so their accesses will be granted and they can able to log into the application properly. For non-single sign-on, mostly we'll be providing to the external users. So their mail ID will be not the pharma company's mail ID, their own company's mail ID. So using that, they have to enter the username and password. And also we can restrict them to reset the password for every 60 days or 90 days. So that kind of restriction we can able to do using a non-single sign-on. And other than that, the access will be granted to the application based on a key called security profile. So there are multiple security profile at the backend we will be configuring, and we will be providing access to the end users. For example, the end user is a viewer, then particular security profile will be providing access to view the application only, so they cannot able to create the documents or objects. If he is an author, then another security profile will be granted to him, and he can able to create the documents or objects. The create options will be available for the authors, and a person who is approving, they will can able to annotate and give a comments or feedbacks for every document and objects. So to the application level, the accesses will be granted using the security profile only. Even the tabs can be controlled and provided based on the security profiles only. Now, for a document specific or object specific access will be granted based on two areas. One is DAC, other one is groups. To start up with groups, so groups is the first one Veeva has configured and provided access for the document specific accesses. So initially for the group level accesses, how they have provided is like for a viewer access, there is a viewer group has been created. So that group has been provided to the user. Then automatically, whenever the document is getting created, by using a default button, he will be getting a viewer access in an automated way. If it is not enabled by the default option, then user can able to add the user user to that particular document in the sharing settings manually. So group is kind of a manual way of getting the access to the documents. Now they want to enhance this access in the group, so they have introduced a feature called override rule. So override rule is kind of restricting the user to a particular product or a country. For example, a document is having the product P1, P2 and P3, okay, and country C1 and C2 and C3. So if I want to restrict the user to P1 and C1 product and country, then it is possible to restrict using the override rule in the group. So here also we have to configure that manually, and also they have to get multiple group access manually to the user while creating that user. So this is kind of a manual way of providing the access even at the group level. So they have introduced a concept called DAC, which is nothing but dynamic access control. So dynamic access control is again going to be like same like a override rule, like product and country combination or any other combination, but that is kind of going to be an automated way. So there is a combination of configuration like product and country sharing rule that has been enabled. Then while creating the user, you have to create a user role setup. So automatically that user role setup is enabled. Then to the document, the access will be granted automatically. So there is no manual intervention will be there. So access will be granted automatically based on the combination of product and country. Then for the P1 and C1 documents, out of 1000 there are 50 documents are there. Then the 50 documents he will be act as an viewer or approver based on the DAC has been provided. So DAC is kind of an automated access and group is kind of manual way of providing the access. So these are all the two different ways of providing access to the respective documents or to the objects as well. So this is all about the user access. Let us check the other areas of configuring this DACS and groups in my next sessions. Thanks for watching.